Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about projectile motion. So in this lecture we will discuss what a projectile is, how does it looks like, and what is the total time of flight and how much distance it covers. So a projectile is nothing but a body which is given some initial velocity, but as it moves, there is no further supply of energy to it. It moves only under the action of gravity. You can see a player kicked a football. It will be an example of a projectile. Similarly, if a bullet is fired from a gun, that is also considered as a projectile. Suppose a athlete throws a javelin, that is also a projectile. That is initially it is given some velocity or you can say energy, but as it moves there is no further supply of energy to it. It only moves under the action of gravity. So the path of the projectile, that you can say the trajectory of that projectile. Suppose you are throwing a javelin, the path followed by the javelin will be like this. So it is nothing but a parabolic curve. So if a body, suppose in order to discuss what will be the nature of that path or the trajectory, let us discuss a body or a projectile, you can say, thrown with an initial velocity u, making an angle theta with horizontal. So if you resolve that velocity into two components, one is u cos theta along and u sin theta along this u cos theta being in horizontal direction, this velocity is constant or uniform throughout the motion of that body, but u sin theta being in vertical direction, due to presence of gravity in vertical direction, this component of velocity gradually decreases and becomes zero at the highest point, and from that point the body starts moving in downward direction. Clear, students? So again I am repeating, these are the two components, very important. One is u cos theta, that is uniform, and u sin theta, that is non-uniform, and it continuously changes as the projectile moves. So in order to find the path of that projectile, or you can say the trajectory, that equation of the trajectory we can derive by taking two equations. One is along horizontal direction and other is along vertical direction. You know that horizontal velocity u cos theta is constant. So after a time t second, the horizontal distance covered by the projectile is simply u cos theta into t, and after t second, what is the vertical distance covered by the projectile? You know one equation of motion, s equal to ut plus half pt square. If you apply that equation s equal to ut plus half pt square in vertical direction, then the equation will be like this: y equal to u sin theta into t plus half minus of g, because in vertically upward direction, t square. That's why the equation will be u sin theta into t minus half gt square. So in order to derive the equation or to obtain a relation between this vertical distance and horizontal distance, you can put the value of t equal to x by u cos theta from this equation, t equal to x by u cos theta. If I will put the value of t in this equation, it will be, you see, u sin theta into t minus half g t square. That is, in place of t you can put x by u cos theta, here x by u cos theta whole square. So by simplifying that equation, that will be sin theta by cos theta is tan theta, u get cancelled, so it will be x tan theta minus g by 2 u square cos square theta into x square. If you write tan theta as a and g by 2 u square cos square theta as b, so that vertical distance you can see y equal to ax minus bx square. So that is an interesting equation, dear students. You know the equation of a straight line, y equal to mx plus c, so y proportional to x. But in case of a parabola, y proportional to x square, y square equal to 4x, or you can say x square equal to 4ay. So from this equation you can tell that this equation represents a parabola. That means when a projectile is fired making an angle with horizontal, the trajectory, or you can say the path of the projectile, must be parabolic in nature. If one can ask you, an athlete throws a javelin, so what is the nature of the path of the javelin? So undoubtedly you can say the nature of the path will be a parabola, right? Similarly, if a bullet is fired from a gun, say, so the nature of the trajectory of that bullet is also parabolic in nature. So that will be the path. So you can better see this is a parabola, you see, isn't it? So here at any time, dear students, x, u cos theta I have written, that u cos theta at any point, this is in horizontal direction. At any time, that u cos theta always constant, being in horizontal direction, because absence of gravity in horizontal direction. But gravity acts in vertical direction. That's why this component u sin theta at any time, u sin theta continuously decreases, and at this highest point, this u sin theta becomes 0, and from that point the body starts moving in downward direction till it reaches on the ground. So this is the path followed by the projectile. So any projectile always follows this particular path. So in order to derive what is the time taken by the projectile to reach on the ground, or you can say that is the time of flight of the projectile. So this is nothing but the total time taken by the projectile to reach on the ground from the point of projection. So in order to derive the expression for the time of flight, you can apply one equation, s equal to ut plus half a t square in vertically upward direction. Once the projectile reaches on the ground, so the vertical distance covered by the projectile is nothing but 0. So in place of y, you can put 0. S equal to ut plus half a t square. So in vertical direction, the initial velocity u is nothing but u sin theta. Already I have told. Initial direction, vertical direction u sin theta, in horizontal direction is u cos theta. So u sin theta into t plus half minus of g, because in vertically upward direction, so minus g into t square. Here that t is the total time of flight, or you can say the total time taken by the projectile to reach on the ground or at the same level of projection. So if you simplify this equation, it will be half gt square equal to u sin theta to t, 1 cancel. So that t will give you 2u sin theta by g. So this is the expression for the time of flight. Dear students, you have to remember this expression in order to solve some of the problem in the next lecture. So the total time of flight t equal to 2u sin theta by g. Here you already know that is the initial velocity with which the projectile was fired, and theta is the angle with which the projectile was fired, making an angle with horizontal. That is very important, because I have taken the projectile with her angle with horizontal direction. Clear? So next, in order to derive how much distance the projectile cover, here students, two terms will come, because once the projectile is follows that parabolic path, you can say the distance will be in vertical direction as well as in horizontal direction. So in order to find the distance in vertical direction, you can apply the equation v square minus u square equal to 2s. Already you know the thing. So here in vertically upward direction, when the projectile reaches at this highest point, already I have told you the maximum velocity at this point, highest point, will be 0 in vertical direction, and initial velocity in vertical direction is u sin theta. So you can apply v square minus u square equal to 2as in vertically upward direction. So here v is the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, a is the acceleration, s is the distance, or you can say displacement. Here in vertically upward direction, you mark the distance, that is h. So that is the vertical distance covered by the projectile. Once the projectile is projected from this point and it reaches on the ground at that point, right? So what is the, here you know, this is the vertical distance, this is the vertical distance, but I have taken this distance because at this point, this is the highest point where u sin theta becomes 0. From that point only the body starts moving in downward direction. So if I put the velocity, final velocity is 0, 0 square minus u square, that is u sin theta whole square, that 2a, it is minus g, because I am repeatedly telling that is in vertically upward direction, and the vertical distance, or you can say the maximum height, I have taken here h, isn't it? So after solving it, that will be h equal to u square sin square theta by 2g. So this is the, you can say, maximum height, or that is the expression for the distance covered by the projectile in vertical direction, and better you can say that is the maximum distance rather, because it is also the vertical distance, it is also a vertical distance, here the vertical distance. So this is the maximum vertical distance covered by the projectile, or you can say the maximum height of the projectile. You have to remember this formula also, h equal to u square sin square theta by 2g. Now another distance is there, I have already told you. One is the vertical distance of the projectile, another is the horizontal distance. Suppose the projectile is projected from this point O and it reaches at this point say Q, the ground. So this is the horizontal distance covered by the projectile, or you can say that is the horizontal range. So horizontal range of the projectile is nothing but the distance covered by the projectile in horizontal direction, but this maximum height is the distance covered by the projectile in vertical direction. In order to find the vertical direction, we apply this equation, v square minus u square 2s, but that should be taken in vertically upward direction. And in order to find the distance in horizontal direction, you see already the horizontal distance, I have already told you, that is u cos theta into t, horizontal distance x equal to u cos theta into t. Once the projectile reaches on the ground, so the time taken is nothing but the total time, so you can say time of flight, isn't it? That's why the horizontal distance I have shown in this figure. You see this r is the horizontal distance, or you can say the horizontal range. So that r will be horizontal velocity, that is how much, u cos theta, and the total time of flight, the total time taken from O to Q. So that total time already we have derived, that is t equal to 2u sin theta by g. If you multiply this horizontal component of velocity and the total time, so that will give you the horizontal distance covered by the projectile, or you can say the horizontal range. Now you put this, so that will be, you see, r equal to u cos theta into t, that is u cos theta into t, that is 2u sin theta by g, because that is the formula or the expression for the total time taken by the projectile to reach on the ground from the point of the projection. So that r, that will give you u cos theta into 2u sin theta by g. You just see, that will be u square, u into u square, 2 sin theta cos theta. Already students, you know this formula, 2 sin theta into cos theta, that is nothing but the sin 2 theta. So that will be u square sin 2 theta by g. So in this lecture, at least all of you should remember these three expressions. One is the time of flight, that the total time taken by the projectile during its motion or during its journey, you can say. Suppose you are throwing a javelin, what is the time taken from the point of throw to reach on the ground? So that is the time of flight. And what is the vertical distance? That is the maximum distance covered by the, you might have seen in any competition also, they measure the horizontal distance. जिसका ज़्यादा distance है, he or she will be the champion, isn't it? So that's why that horizontal range means the distance covered by that particular javelin, right? Or you are kicking a football, say. What is the horizontal distance covered by the football? That is nothing but the horizontal range. That is u cos theta into the total time of flight, and that expression is r equal to u square sin 2 theta by g. Isn't it, students? So you see one thing. So these are the two important formula. One is you can say R, that is u square sine 2 theta by g, that is one expression. Okay. Similarly, another is your h, so that is u square sine square theta by 2g. This is one another expression. Another is the time of flight. So these three expression. So these three expression, that is time of flight also 2u sine theta by g. These three expression, one is time of flight t equal to 2u sine theta by g. Another is maximum height, or you can say vertical distance covered by the projectile, h equal to u square sine square theta by 2g. And another is horizontal range, or you can say the horizontal distance covered by the projectile. So that is r equal to u square sine 2 theta by g. All of you should remember these three expressions. Another very interesting thing is that at what angle the projectile should be fired or thrown so that the horizontal range will be maximum. One can ask you a question, at what angle a projectile should be fired, or a bullet should be fired from the gun, or at what angle an athlete should throw the javelin in order to have a maximum horizontal distance, or horizontal range will be maximum. You know this formula, r equal to u square sine 2 theta by g. So that range will be maximum only when sine 2 theta will be 1, because the maximum value of sine is 1, the maximum value of cos is 1. So in order to have a maximum range, sine 2 theta equal to 1. So sine 2 theta equal 1 means 2 theta equal to how much? 90 degree, because sine 90 is 1. So sine 90 is 1, that means 2 theta equal to 90, or you can say theta equal to 45. That is one important short question also. In order to have maximum horizontal distance or horizontal range will be maximum only when the projectile is fired making angle 45 degree. If that is angle with horizontal, same 45 degree will be also with vertical, because 90 minus 45, isn't it? So range is maximum when the projectile is fired making angle 45 degree either with horizontal or 45 degree with vertical. So once the range will be maximum, so that is the, because sine 2 theta equal to 1, so r max will be how much then? U square by g, because r is the u square sine 2 theta by g, so r max will be u square by g. So one can ask the question, up to what distance a player can throw a javelin in order to the range to become maximum. Range is maximum means it is assumed that theta is 45 degree, so simply u square by g. So we have a very small question people ask, suppose a boy can throw a javelin up to a maximum distance of 20 meter. So with what angle it was thrown? So you can say that u square by g is 20, that means u square equal to 20 into g, 9.8, 20 into 9.8, it is 196. So u square 196 means u is 196 root over, that is 14 meter per second. So in this way, in the next lecture, definitely we will solve some numericals basing upon this projectile motion. Okay students, hope you all will enjoy this lecture. Thank you all.